Take a look at this question which says, draw the Lewis structures for the following molecules and ions. Lovely. And we have H2S, SiCl4, BeF2, carbonate and HCOOH. Let's draw them one by one. Lewis dot structures, when you're drawing H2S for example, there is sulfur in middle and then we have hydrogen and we have hydrogen, yes. Sulfur has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valence electrons, right? And hydrogen also has, 1 electron. Sometimes people show it by cross. Since I have the facility to change color, I'm just using a different color, which is also quite okay. And 2 electrons are being shared. Wow. So what do we get? You get H2S like this. Is it the Lewis dot structure? Yes, it is. Otherwise, you could also write it like this. H, S, H, and sulfur has 2 electron pairs which are just lying unshared. So these are also called lone pairs. H2S. What about SiCl4? Now silicon has 1, 2, 3, 4. Silicon has 4 valence electrons. Fine. And what about chlorine? Chlorine has, belonging to group 17. It has actually 17 group number. That means 7 valence electrons. So if you want to draw bonds, akkad, bakkad, Bombay bow, like this, you have 4 bonds. And how do we write down SiCl4? This could be one way to write down SiCl4, yes. Otherwise, you could write it as Si, Cl, Cl, Cl and Cl. Each line indicates that there are 2 electrons on that line. That these 2 electrons, the shared electrons can be replaced by a single line like this. This or this. Lewis dot structures, Lewis dot dash structures as people call them. What about BeF2? Well, BeF2 is, you have Be and you have F and F. Beryllium has only 2 valence electrons and fluorine has, 7. What happens? There is a sharing like this and you get the loveliest BeF2 in this fashion. You could write it like this or you could write it like this. This is the Lewis dot structure, this is the dot dash structure. Both the ways it is written and both are regarded as correct. So we have done H2S, SiCl4 and BeF2. Now let's take a look at carbonate and HCOOH. They are very extraordinary and very interesting. Now the carbonate ion. If you draw carbonate, it should be like this. First you will draw carbon and you have 3 oxygens, right? Carbon has how many valence electrons? Well, carbon has 1, 2, 3 and 4 valence electrons. What about oxygens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it has -2 charge also. If it has -2 charge, that means there are 2 extra electrons which have been added. And what do you think? Which atom actually is going to get those electrons, carbon or oxygen? I mean, whichever is more electronegative would be more likely to receive those electrons. So there are only 2 extra electrons, -2 charge, and there are 3 oxygen atoms. So I suspect that 2 oxygen atoms will actually receive it. So there we are. One more extra electron I have added. Please note that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 electrons each on. So this is O minus, it is O minus. They have -1 charge each. And now they will start making bonds. If they share 1 electron like this, and if they share 2 electrons like this, Oh my God, what is this? Well, lovingly you have carbonate ion, and this is C double bond O, single bond OO, which have minus charge each. Lewis dot structure, Lewis dot dash structure. This is the Lewis structure of carbonate ion. As you proceed, you will notice later on that this is not the structure which is found in nature, but this is the beginning point. In one of the later questions, we will discuss the structure of carbonate ion in greater detail. But then, Lewis dot structure, if you simply write, this is carbonate. Last one, formic acid, HCOOH. Each oxygen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons like this. And how do we form bonds? That's not very difficult. 1 double bond like this. Right? So these are the electrons sharing structures. Or otherwise HCOOH. This is the Lewis dot structure for formic acid, HCOOH. Please remember, in Lewis dot structures, if you eat away the electrons, if you don't write down the lone pairs properly, those structures are wrong. So you have to accurately write down each dot as each electron properly.